Welcome to Country Sports Magazine, where the great outdoors comes alive. Each month you'll enjoy 100 pages of premium content, packed with expert reviews, field tests, and stories from the UK's top field sports writers. But this isn't just a digital magazine. Embedded video and clickable links let you watch, read, and explore every feature as it unfolds. The magazine and video content work hand in hand, delivering a unique, fully integrated experience for today's shooting community. Join free today at countrysports.net and experience field sports like never before.
Well, here we are out in the lovely British countryside, and you might ask, why is it so lush and green and lovely? Well, simply because it's pretty much watered every day, and that's probably a good thing because we're still on the hosepipe ban. Anyway, I've plonked a target out, I've waded out across the field, I've got a target out there at 100 metres. I've just come out this morning, a little break in the weather, just to zero the 17 HMR. This evening I'm going to be going out because I've got a couple of little fox jobs to do, and the ground isn't really suitable for anything bigger, so I'm going to kind of downsize from what I normally use. I'm going to be using the HMR. So this rifle, it is a CZ452. Nothing fancy. It's got a Helix HGLR 2 to 16x50 element scope sat on the top there, and I've also got the thermal scope that I always use, the S60, and again, as always, sports match quick release mount, so I can chop and change between the two. So I'm going to just zero both of these scopes in. This rifle was zeroed, but I've stuck a quick release mount on there, so I need to re-zero it, and also I found it wasn't grouping very well, so I've sanded out the barrel channel, because I found that the barrel was actually touching against the stock there. It wasn't free floating, so I've sorted that out, and I've also given it a good rod through, because the HMR never seems to shoot particularly well when it's grubby. So anyway, without further ado, we're going to have a few goes at the target there. I've got a hand warmer pin to it, so I can use that for zeroing the thermal scope, and hopefully I can spot the impacts from here without having to march across that field too many times. So anyway, right, let's crack on. Oh, okay, that wasn't too painful. I've managed to get that zeroed. That's shooting onto probably about an inch sort of dot. Slightly to the right of it, from what I can see through the scope. So I've got a crosswind coming down there, so I'm not really too worried about that. It's certainly near enough. I'm not going to be shooting any further than that, so that's well within the kill zone on the fox. So that's all good. So I'm going to swap scopes over and then do the same with the thermal scope. Right, so first thing to do is to change the profile. Okay, so currently on profile A, this is on C. Save that, back out the menu, and we're good to go. Right, couple of rounds in the mag. We shouldn't be too far off with this one, because this one has been on the rifle and I haven't done anything with it, but it wasn't, as I say, it wasn't shooting all that well, so it might well need a little bit of tweaking. Right, the heat pad on there has heated up the board quite a bit. Put a couple in that. as I thought, it's grouped just below, so I'm aiming here, so I'm probably an inch and a half low on that, so I need to bring that up. That's with the day scope. I'll just tweak the zero here, but yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 shots there, all pretty good. I didn't have the stabilist to rest there, so I think that'll probably do us. Right, let's just tweak the thermal scope up a little bit and then we'll leave it at that. So I'm just going through the menu setup. So first thing I do is zoom in. Okay, I think that's the max zoom. Then we're going to go to the freeze. Now this is the tricky bit, it's holding the rifle steady enough to get this right. Okay, that's pretty good. So from there, I'll move it up to the up-down. It's on 1177 at the minute. And okay, so that's moving it down. You see the way the arrow is coloured blue at the bottom there. So I can now scroll that down, and I just want to get that to kind of just below that heat pad. That's just jumped a bit, it's just caught up, I think. I'm not going to go too many. I reckon probably we'll try it there. We can always move it a bit more. Okay, right. So then we press and hold. It comes up. Do you want to keep these settings? Yes. Saving. Done. Right. There we go, that looks better. So that's our previous shots. They're the last couple. Happy with that, that's bob on. Right, well I reckon we're good to head out this evening, see if we can find fox. It was actually quite easy to sort of think the HMR, being such a small bullet, doesn't really do very much, but well, I certainly wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that. As you can see, that does pack quite a punch, and it certainly drops foxes and other stuff pretty well if you can put that bullet in the right place. That's the key thing with it. And being an accurate round, that's why it's so popular. It's all about bullet placement. Right, well, not exactly the best of conditions this evening. We've got a storm that's blowing in and the wind has really picked up from what it was when I zeroed this morning. Anyway, we're out on this bit of ground. So this bit of ground, I used to shoot this very often with a 223, but since then there's been a lot of building works going on all around. Some of the farms have been sold off, and there's a lot of new builds and stuff being put up all around the outside of it. So I'm having to use the HMR purely for safety, just because I'm not comfortable letting rip the 223 down here anymore. Anyway, that aside, hopefully we'll be able to sort of dodge the rain a little bit. As I said earlier, I've got the CZ here and the S60 on the top there. Now, because it's so windy, my main concern isn't going to be the rounds so much blowing off course, because I'm going to keep everything to 100 yards or less, but it's going to be more probably being able to stay steady on the sticks without getting sort of buffeted around by the wind. So that's going to be my number one concern more than anything. But anyway, yeah, so it's only about 5 o'clock, it's just got dark. I'm sort of tucked myself in behind a hedge here, so I've got the wind on my back, and we'll just see what happens. Right, so we've got fox just come through the hedge behind me here. Now, I can't actually get a shot where he is because I've got houses in a row behind, but any luck, he'll keep coming across this field and he'll come out through the hedge just to my left here. Hey! Well, that couldn't have worked any better. That fox actually ended up coming, I think, down the back of the hedge from me, and he ended up on the bottom of the field, and I managed to just turn around over the top of the hedge here, just behind me, just over the top of the hedge. Nice safe shot down the field into a little swampy bit down the bottom there, just give him a little ooey, and that was it. He just looked around, whack, down he went. So first one down for even. I've only been about 10 minutes, so that's a really good start. .37 metres that one, just stood here, literally only shot that other fox probably 10 minutes ago, and the fox just come through the hedge here. I just see him starting to push through the hedge, and by the time I got round onto him, he stood looking straight towards me, and again another headshot, dropped him on the spot, 37 metres, easy shot. Clearly a lot of foxes on this ground to have been able to shot two in probably 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I'm just going to stay put here. Seems to be a good spot, this. I used to shoot a lot of foxes from here actually when I used to shoot with a 223, because they'd come across the field behind me, and also up out the ditch just at the bottom, same as that last one just did. Same as both of them did actually, for that matter. So as it goes, this rough weather is actually a little bit of a double-edged sword. Although it could potentially make shooting a bit challenging, it's helping to hide scent and noise pretty well. And it's a pretty dark night. There's no moon or anything as yet. Just a little bit of light from the nearby houses and stuff. But other than that, yeah, pretty dark night. And these foxes, they're pretty used to sort of seeing people around, so they're not too jumpy. Not really urban foxes, but I guess you could sort of say they're sort of semi-urban. Anyway, yeah, we'll just stay put here, see if any more come through. Well, it's been about 40 minutes since I shot that last one. I haven't seen anything else apart from one down the bottom of the field there just a minute ago. So I think I'm going to just have a little walk about and see if I can bump into anything. It's getting a bit cold stood here, so I'm going to walk down to the end of the field there. Fox just see was about 250 metres, but it was on the move, so it probably won't hang around. But we're going to have a look anyway, you never know. Well, that fox was actually probably a fair bit further than my 100-yard limit there. He was probably between, I think, 100 and 150 yards down the field. and that was there was a couple of reasons why I took that shot. Firstly, I didn't actually realise quite how far it was. He came out of the hedge just next to me, probably only sort of 30 yards from me, came out and then bolted off down the field, and I was tracking him in the scope, waiting for him to stop, and it took a little bit longer to stop than I thought he was going to. Anyway, when he did stop, he turned around, he offered a nice shot, so I took the shot, and he went down. It wasn't until I've just walked out to him here that I've realised just how far it was. The other reason I took it was because I had the wind on my back, so it didn't really affect the shot too much, so I was confident that the wind wasn't going to blow it off course. Anyway, it's paid off. He hit him sort of through the throat there, and he kind of ran on another 10 yards, and then that shot just got the better of him, and he went down. So he's laid out here in the middle of the field. So yeah, third one down. Down. That one was about 70 yards, 70 metres, 70 yards, 70 metres, there or thereabouts. Anyway, just going out across that field there, just give him a little bark, and he stopped, spun round, whack. Take that. Right, I walk round, pick that one up. It's a bit of a hike round to pick this one up. Got to go all the way round and back into this next field. But yeah, might see something else on the way. You never know. Well, 4 foxes down for the evening, 2 dogs, 2 vixens. I reckon that's a pretty good result, especially considering we're using a smaller calibre, and the weather hasn't really been on our side. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the episode, and thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out our online monthly magazine at www.countrysports.net.